Hello, everybody. My name is Benjamin Kennedy, and I'm coming to you from the great state of Maine here in my hometown of Cumberland, Maine. I am really excited to be coming to you today to introduce something that's been in the works for me for a little while now, a brand new podcast called Pucks from the Pine Tree Pod. Um, there's a lot of voices already in the podcast world focused in on hockey and on the NHL, and that's just the world that I'm looking to jump into here with this podcast. So it is a little daunting to think about all the intelligent, smart voices already out there. So it is a little bit of a you know what the heck am I doing kind of moment putting this out there, but uh, my hope with this podcast and starting this up is to hopefully add a little bit of a different flavor than just the run of the mill NHL stuff. It will be NHL focused though. Uh, focus on all 32 teams from a news and notes perspective. In season, I will be um, having videos, breakdowns, reviews of every single Boston Bruins regular season and postseason game. Postseason hopefully postseason, right? It's not to be taken for granted. But from there, I really want to take an opportunity to focus on so much of the other hockey that is, out there both nationally and here in the state of Maine. Um, Starting most notably, we'll be having a little bit of coverage on the PWHL. PWHL having just a remarkable, wildly successful first season. Um, as the two national women's leagues joined together to create the PWHL. I've been so impressed with what I've seen so far from the few games I've watched, and of course now they're in the final with Boston and Minnesota. Uh, Only 6 teams right now, but they've been packing out arenas, going to neutral sites, and packing those arenas out. It's just such a wonderful thing to see, and I think it's a sport that has nothing but growth potential. So we'll be having hopefully some weekly coverage on the PWHL. I'm also going to have some focus here on our Portland-based Maine Mariners hockey team, East Coast Hockey League affiliate of the Boston Bruins. Most notably this year, 55, Justin Brazeau, playing for the Bruins, had played here for the Mariners not that long ago. Also, we'll have periodically some coverage on our University of Maine Black Bears hockey team program that has obviously a storied and long history of tons of success. Most notably, our coach Jim Montgomery being part of that one of those championship teams up there, and of course Jeremy Swayman of UMaine Lower. So have some coverage there in season. They had such a great year this year under Ben Barr, and that program is definitely back on the map. So hoping to provide a little bit of coverage on the UMaine focus. Um, but not to be forgotten also is all the great high school hockey that goes on here in the state. Maine high school sports really dominated by basketball. A lot of great talent here for basketball. Football has really risen. A lot of other sports too, but hockey, it's I think popular in some markets. But I don't believe really gets the coverage um, that it should. As maybe I'm a little biased being a hockey fan, but there's a lot of really wonderful programs. Uh, really great coaches out there doing a lot of good work and a lot of talented players. And Maine is no stranger to putting Maine natives in the NHL. A couple local, 2 or 3 local guys from this area in the NHL. So we'll be having a little bit of coverage on those areas as well. But yes, it will be NHL focused, centric, and um, yeah, just looking forward to it. Like I said at the start, it's my first attempt at a podcast. Don't know what I'm doing, have no clue what I'm doing, but I do know that I do enjoy muttering to myself about hockey. So why not throw it out there on the internet and let other people maybe enjoy it as well. A little bit about the schedule here. We're in today's May 23rd. My hope for this podcast is to have this really up and running by kind of end of June. That's my goal. Um, this is very rough today. Old camera. I'm obviously on my headset. I do have equipment on its way for new camera, lighting, microphone, all that good stuff. So my hope is that this will be looking and sounding a lot better as we move forward. Um, but just a little bit of what I'm thinking about for a schedule right out of the top. As we get into the end of June, start out with probably episode one will be a kind of a post-mortem look at the Boston Bruins 23-24 season. Talk a little bit about what we saw, what the regular season was like, postseason, and then get into priorities and needs for the off season. It was just yesterday the Bruins had their management kind of season wrap up. Media coverage time, and I thought there's a lot that came out of that. I think that we can talk about as well. And as we get into the end of June, we'll obviously be getting closer to the end of the Stanley Cup Final. Right now, we just started the Eastern Conference Final last night with Florida 3-0 winners at MSG against the Rangers. Tonight, we have Edmonton in Dallas. So I tell you, I do think that the league has the top four teams in the finals. I think that no matter what combination of Stanley Cup final you get, it's going to be worth the price of admission. It's going to be worth the time to watch and follow. I think it's going to just be a phenomenally wild and great Cup final this year. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll certainly have a little bit of coverage on it as we get to it. After that, I think that I've kind of thinking about the season 2023-2024. Every year has its own level of drama. Every year has its own level of intrigue. Um, Predictions gone awry, teams gone awry, and I think this year was no different. It had so much to offer, and I kind of want to just take a look back and look at the surprises. Well, what surprises from 2023, 2024, from a league perspective, not just a Bruins perspective, but from the whole NHL. So we will have a video covering that here at the end of June. So those will be probably my first three official videos here at the end of June. Uh, and really the real kickoff from there we'll have an episode really kind of kicking this off really officially July 1st. That is the start of the NHL fiscal year. It is the opening of free agency, which is it's just Christmas for NHL fans. It's Christmas for NHL GMs. It is for me a day I just like to take off from work because so much is happening, so much is going on, and I'm going to be here to cover that, talking about obviously all the moves that are made and how they're affecting teams. So we'll have an episode July 1 on that. And then obviously, people have already asked me, geez, you're launching a hockey podcast in the summer. Like, do you not own a calendar or what's your deal? And I kind of like the idea of launching this now. Again, kind of lining up with the start of the NHL fiscal year, but also giving myself a chance to just get used to creating content and get used to this whole podcast world. Get familiar with my equipment to really be ready to go with hopefully some good production and good videos as we get into the regular season in October. But there's plenty that goes on during the summer with, like we just talked about, free agency. There's trades, and it'll give us also a chance just to maybe talk about some other things throughout the summer. There'll be retirements. There'll be different things that will pop up from a news perspective that will get us through parts of July and August. Once free agency has really calmed down, and it's typically kind of early August, mid-August, really things kind of get quiet. That's where a lot of your GMs and your presidents that's where they're taking their vacations. Their work is kind of done, the teams are set, and they're taking the family, they're taking their couple weeks to go and relax for a little bit. It'll be at that time that I will be prepared to have season previews of each of the 32 NHL teams. So that will kind of be the schedule for August. cover each team, look at just what the prognosis is of their program, and what do they add, what are they still missing, and what do I think uh, is their ceiling for 2024, 2025. So I'm excited. I'm really hopeful. I have so much passion for this sport, and trying to find a healthy way to talk about it, and to hopefully, like I said, share my perspective. Hopefully, it's a unique voice. Hopefully, it's something different that isn't out there already. Um, Personally, one of my absolute favorite podcasters in this industry, and truly an inspiration to me, has been the hockey guy. His name is Shannon, and he is out of Abbotsford, British Columbia. He does the best and the most objective hockey coverage you're going to find. Um, and someone I watch videos of his every day, have for probably the last 2 or 3 years, and definitely worth checking out if you're looking for daily coverage. If you're looking for a breakdown review of every hockey game, he does a game review of every single NHL hockey game. Um, I'm worried about just doing one for one team. I don't know how he does it, but definitely worth the listen, worth the follow. Would definitely check him out. Uh, I'm gonna wrap this up. Um, Couple of thank yous I just want to put out here right out of the gate. I still have a long ways to go with this, a lot to learn. I do want to thank my dear friend Lucas McNally, for helping me out, getting me started. He's an old and dear friend, does his own podcast as well, covers uh, Maine high school basketball, does a wonderful job there. Independent filmmaker, has a couple movies out there. Very, very talented guy, but has been a really big help to me thus far in getting started. And I'm not sure if I should thank this next person or if he should be apologizing to me. But the person that got me into hockey all those years ago, I was always a baseball, kind of football, a little bit of basketball guy, kid growing up. I was watching, Chicago Cub games at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the '80s when I was just a little guy, and that was really my passion. And it was about middle school when another dear friend of mine, and a dear friend of Lucas's as well, Jeff Kinney, got me into hockey. Got me into a fantasy hockey league that he was running, and started watching games a little bit with him. And I was just like, what is this magical game we're watching? This is amazing. And between that and, let's be honest, NHL '94 video game, really was kind of the start of my love of hockey and my passion for the sport. So, Jeff, thank you. I'm always grateful for your introducing me to this great sport. I've rambled on enough for today. Like I said, this has just been a test run. I'm wanting to get it out there, introduce myself, introduce the concept, the idea of what we're trying to do. And there'll definitely be more to come as I get better equipment set up and get this thing off and running. So thank you all. Look forward to talking to you all, and we will see you again soon.